Greetings everyone, Joe Davis here from Southern New Hampshire University. We're going to talk about Justice 224, and in particular we are in module number 5, and the subject is Milestone 3, Applying the Law. Now this is a fairly complex assignment for you. We've been building up. This is the third, and so I have two parts. So let's take a look at the first one, and that's the background on this. And in Milestone 3, it takes you to the next chronological step in this process, and I'll walk you through the process of where we are today in part 1. In part 2, we'll go through how to finish Milestone 3. Okay, so in Milestone 1, you analyze the fact pattern. We did a fact pattern analysis of our case study about Benny, Victor, and Private Dan. And you established specific legal issues, 5 of them, which you were tasked with resolving. Now some of you have struggled with those. I've tried to give you feedback, send your papers back so that you can come up with 5 viable, usable, and not terribly complex legal issues. Milestone number 2 required you to lay out a specific research plan that would lead you to the law that answered each legal issue identified in Milestone 1. Okay, so we did the research plan. You identified your research methods in Milestone 2. Milestone 3 is the process where you organize the results of your research. So you've established what the facts are. You've established what your 5 legal issues are. You've completed your research at this point. And now for Milestone 3, we're just going to organize what you've already done. This milestone requires you to submit a draft of the section in which you apply the law. You'll identify the rule of law and the applicable law that controls each legal issue identified, and then describe your findings based on your analysis of the law. So this is what's been building up all along, all the scaffolding. Here's the prompt for this assignment. Submit a draft of section 3 of the final project. If you haven't looked at it in a while, I would suggest you go to week 7 and look at the module 7 and look at the final project rubric and see how complex it is. That rubric, I think, has 16 or 17 critical elements, but make sure you understand everything that's going on in that final project because you're very close to the end now. Okay, so you must address the critical elements as listed below. Using the case study provided in the final project guideline and rubric document, you will assume the role of a criminal justice professional who needs to identify all, it should say, 5 legal issues that exist. Once you identify the legal issues, you'll use your research skills to locate the law or other supporting documentation that you believe controls each specific issue. You'll analyze the laws and compare them to the facts of the case, and then you'll offer your conclusions as to how each law controls each specific issue, also indicating what the answer would be based on law. All right, I changed colors here. This is super important. Pay attention. Take some notes. I will send this PowerPoint off to all of you. 3 says applying the law, and this is towards the bottom of the first page of the rubric, guidelines and rubric. This is basically the outline of your paper. You're going to establish the legal issues derived from the case facts and briefly describe them, just briefly describe them. Then you're going to identify the rule and the applicable law controlling each of those legal issues. The third part of your paper will be analyze the laws and apply them to the facts of the case. Explain how each of the laws stated applies to the facts. The fourth part is you're going to describe your findings based on your analysis of the law. You will do this for all 5 legal issues. So your paper is going to be at least 20 paragraphs. These 4, if you can get it all into one paragraph, times 5 issues. So this is a fairly substantial paper. All right, in part 2, I'll go back through the specific content of your paper, how to develop it, and provide you samples for each. I hope this is of value. keep the cards and letters coming. If you need help, email me, phone, we can Skype, we can use Join Me, but you're getting down to the nitty-gritty now. If you can get this one wired in, you'll be in good shape for the final project.